Samuel Morse was born into a clergyman's family in Massachusetts in 1791. As a child, he was punished to stand for drying eggs, but his teacher marveled. The lines are so precise. At 18, he entered Yale. Conducting experiments on electrocuting fish with batteries in class, the electric sparks made him fascinated by distance for the first time. At 22, studying abroad in London to paint large oil paintings, he missed his engagement due to a ship delay holding the painting frame. He sighed at the moon. Time is more ruthless than paint. At 30, he failed to invent the lightning portrait machine, ran out of paint, and had to mix colors with coal dust. At 35, hearing an electromagnetic lecture on a ship, a sudden thought struck. Can electricity transmit messages? He immediately sketched a circuit diagram with breadcrumbs. At 40, his wife passed away. He rushed for 3 days and nights but failed to see her for the last time. Kneeling at her grave, he vowed, "Let messages outpace horse hooves." At 42, he built the first telegraph machine with old clock gears, sending it works, but failing to attract any investment. At 45, only $30 of the congressional funding remained. He melted his late wife's silver spoons to make wires. At 47, the line between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore was completed. On May 24, 1844, he tapped out the first telegraph message. "What hath God wrought?" moving his assistant to tears. At 50, entangled in telegraph patent disputes, he hid in the attic eating cold bread, mocking himself, "Even electricity is more patient than me." At 55, the transatlantic submarine cable project failed, investors withdrew their funds, and he made a living by selling paintings. At 60, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor, but he refused huge compensation, only asking, "Let the invention belong to humanity." At 65, awarded medals by many countries, he yawned at the ceremony. Gold medals are not as reliable as copper wires. At 70, witnessing the telegraph save over 1,000 lives from a sunken ship, he fed the pigeons and left silently. At 73, on his deathbed, he tapped out his last Morse code with trembling fingers. GOODBYE. His last words, "Don't mourn for me, electricity will speak for me."